All right, let's talk just briefly here. This is going to be a short video before I upload part 3 to the Saturn Tears, the Fractal of Truth video, which you should watch. You should watch it. And you should do your best to watch it with a whole heart and put away every little thing that is some sort of aggravation with you, whether you got that aggravation with Jesus or whether you got it about me. You might in the end find out that the aggravation itself is coming from you, nobody else. You're fueling it. Okay? So please watch the video. It will be a miracle. And I have no way to say it to make it sound more interesting, to make it sound more amazing or incredible than it is. It is. It is what it is, and it's a miracle. You'll see Jesus bridge time, distance, space, all for your benefit in a miraculous way, in a way that you just have to witness. There's no way to describe how it could be done with everything that I'm showing you. Everything. Okay, and it's always going to be this way. And it will only get more intense as time moves forward. The more and more and more I have, the more I can give. All right? But the only problem is I don't have people with a waiting basket for spontaneous spirit fruits. What they have in their basket is cancer. They've got a dry measure of grain with no water, and it is riddled with cancerous blackness. That's what they have in their bag. And they are unable to receive these fruits of truth. I cannot give a gift, a true gift to you, to the individual you. Okay, now there's people that are listening that do receive, but for the individuals out of all of y'all, certain individuals, I cannot give this gift to until you are able to receive it. And until then, I just humbly hold it in my hand, extending it towards you, and you know what you do in the process. So just think about part 3 as it's about to be uploaded here shortly. All right, now let's kind of take a look at the videos that I did last night. Probably the last video, part 2 of the Saturn Tears. And I want you to see that the comments page is a perfect reflection of the prophecy, the parable, the manifestation of his word that he said. It's happening, okay? And you've already seen it, but you just have to kind of see it as it manifests right here on the comments page. Now, I'm going to tell you why I allow these people to do this. As I told you, it is for your benefit, believe it or not, and it's for their benefit. Just listen closely. This is chapter 11 of the book of Luke, and it's going to be verse 23. This is where we talked about Satan's kingdom being divided. Now, I can go into greater detail with this, and I planned on doing it in the other video, but once again, each video grows upon the next. So I'll just briefly kind of break this down for the way that you heard it last night with Cern and their blaspheming. Now we know that Satan is really not the person that is going to enter into this physical form, whether they want to call him that or not. The person that enters into the physical form that becomes the man-child is the prince of this world, and Jesus Christ has identified him correctly. Okay, we see that all over the world is basically his symbols of the caduceus for wisdom, knowledge, and I would say medicinal medicines. He's the chief physician. As I said, he's connected to this genetic engineering legend, which is more myth than fact. Okay, so we see that the prince of this world is absolutely influenced and infused the world. He shows you that he is the God of this world, and then we have showed you many ways that it's reflective of that in the Bible. Moses himself, as you know, and there's a verse, we've talked about it before, where once Moses has passed, there we see the devil shows up to claim his spirit, his body. And then, of course, Michael is there to rebuke him. Well, why would the devil be coming to claim Moses as one as his own? Well, because Moses was lifting up that brazen serpent rod in the wilderness that his God, supposedly Yahweh, commanded him to make. Well, that's the symbol for the caduceus. That's the symbol for Enki. That's why it is said that there is a veil over people's eyes when they read Moses. They're unable to understand. And then the people that do, they want to keep that from you. So if we look here at verse 18, chapter 11 of Luke, you see that Jesus is giving this admonishment about Satan's kingdom being divided. We know that Satan is providing much of the higher knowledge to the lower than him, the planetary prince. But yet the planetary prince has specific knowledge about this planet, of course, about this carbon atom, about this valley of the shadow of death, which is material existence. His science combined with the higher sciences above him from Lucifer and Satan is what is allowing this serpent wisdom to come to fruition to bring the planetary prince into a physical body. This planetary prince is really an emissary of Lucifer and Satan. He's not Lucifer and Satan himself. Regardless of how they switch up the names, whether they understand this or not, Lucifer, Satan, and the devil, they fulfill the fractal as LSD. You know that LSD is associated with illusion, and then these are the grand enchanters, the grand illusionists, the grand magi, the grand tricksters. Okay, tricks are done with illusion. Okay, and then you have people that understand physics that are not tricks, that are also able to perform things that some of you might even consider magic. They're not. They're physics. They are laws of physics that once you understand the physical laws, then you yourself can manifest greater truths from the world around you if you understand. They call this alchemy, but it's a spiritual alchemy, not a bastardized spiritual material alchemy that you see these people working. Now, in reality, it's not an alchemy in the sense of their occultic version of it all, but yet with each light, there's always a shadow cast. They exist within that shadow. So everything that they're trying to promote to you is just the mere shadow of the actuality of the true projection of truth. We know that Lucifer is actually not the light. As we see, he is the obstruction of light. And there we have the triangle that is in front of the light, which is allowing the light to glare off of its material angles, which is now skewing the light. These people are on the periphery, and they are only seeing that bent, skewed light. In other words, the crooked serpent. So there's a lot to say. So if this power that Cern, this knowledge, this discernment that Cern has, that they think they have the power to correctly divide the word. Now, the word that they're dividing is what Jesus Christ calls that he has created the world with his word. So that word they're trying to divide for their gain. In other words, the infinite spirit pervades all space. So through the power of Jesus Christ, before he was manifested as Jesus Christ, we know that he's the creator of this universe. In his manifested living word, he has worked the power of the infinite spirit into all things. That becomes the seal of God, which is the star tetrahedron. Now we know that Cern has been trying to divide the word, but they've been dividing it incorrectly. And as they are blasting the molecules, the atoms, as we know that Jesus Christ has created man from the atoms, the dust of the earth. Now we know that the Antichrist is trying to break the seal of this dust and then enter into the carbon 666 dust of the earth. So as they are trying to divide the word, which is the created word that Jesus Christ used to create the world, which now is infused with the potential, okay, of the spirit and the material. For the spirit to evolve from the material, as you know, the triangle on the star tetrahedron, one points up, one points down. In essence, that is revealing the combination, the manifestation, and the evolution of the spiritual from the material world. So all of that is infused in everything from the atom to the circumscribed tetrahedral geometry that surrounds our globe. It's in everything. And as you know, that's exactly what they're trying to do. They're trying to manipulate that geometry so that they can bring in their dark prince who needed this iron cross, this Orion cross, the mixture of genetics. So Satan's kingdom is divided. Well, Satan is giving his kingdom to the fallen prince, the planetary prince Inky, as you know. And so that Inky needs to come into a material body. Well, now you see that Cern is blasting the particles apart. They are dividing. They are dividing portions of the material kingdom. If you know that the planetary prince was a prince over this material world, it's talking about the portions of the knowledge of the material kingdom that they were entrusted to, that now they are bastardizing and blaspheming. That, my friend, is unforgivable. So Cern, by doing the work to blast the light out of the molecules to create this dark matter in which this false light can infuse it and come into the tabernacle of a man. So that is what Jesus Christ will begin to tell you if you can just break away from your small-mindedness. Now, we might have had a time delay. I know we did at the 10-minute mark. I missed it. But think about this very deeply. It's not only the kingdom being divided that some of these people are going up, some of these people are going down. Okay, that's a division in itself. Then we see, if you take it further, it's talking about the spirit powers themselves to even come into the material existence. They have had to blaspheme and divide the atoms. Not only the kingdom of men on the macro, but the kingdom of men on the micro, the atoms, the 666 carbon material vessel. And they have done it from the very smallest particle and worked their way all the way up. That is a division of the kingdom. This is why Inky shall not stand in his physical body. He has had to divide and conquer to get into it. But nonetheless, the only thing that he has divided and conquered is his own potential. It's his own potential. So I'm telling you that you just don't understand how far I see and how much I can teach you if you continue to stop short and continually judge me with your own lack of understanding. You're cutting yourself short. Okay, you're spiting yourself. You're doing this to yourself. I'm trying to stay here through every bit of persecution and offer these people that hate me, that mock me, and they slander me, the truth. That's what a real friend is. Regardless of how many times they try to kick me down and then they try to divert everyone and try to lie about me and make me look like something that I'm not, other than a person that's trying to help them. All right? That's what a true friend is. I'm actually laying my life down with this warning for these people that actually want to kill me. I'm trying to help them see the light so that they can make the correct choices, because they have made choices based upon a faulty foundation where Jesus Christ's mercy has not been the thing that's held it all up. Okay? So understand that. We'll talk about that more. Notice it's verse 18, 666. We're going to see this 666 come up with the refuge of Zion, and you'll see that in the next video in part 3. Okay? So this really isn't part 3. But this is just going to be just kind of, everything's related, right? So as we know, it goes on down, it begins to talk about that these devils will end up being their judges. We know that that's Dan, and then as we see, he goes on to say that now they think they've gotten rid of one, only to take 7 more wicked than the original, okay, that they think that they've gotten rid of. And we know that this represents the 7 stars of the Pleiades, which now comes to the fullness of the locusts with their long hair, which I told you will be this Nordic type race. You can associate these with the elves from the Lord of the Rings. As you saw, they were all pale-skinned, white long hair, and they supposedly had this undying land that they go to. Well, that's the same thing as Valhalla. That's the same thing as Kernugi, the underworld. It's the same thing that we talked about in Job chapter 38. It's the same thing all the way around. Now, my point is the warning about these people in these comments page, okay? Jesus goes on to say, as he describes the ones that are really going to scatter, are these wolves from John 10, which is this army of Joel 2, which is the locust of chapter 9, which are breathing fire, smoke, and brimstone, which the people that can't be hurt are sealed by the living God in their forehead. Well, these people that are rejecting the Holy Ghost, that are backing this power of Cern that has blasphemed the Holy Ghost, they're not sealed by the Holy Ghost. As I told you, They're not protected. These locusts, as they go to Shinar, and for these people that have not repented, that have not turned from their wicked acts, that are still expecting to get their wages from sin for the labor they produced, well, then they'll get their wages. The wages of sin is death. Now, that's a material death. It's not a spiritual death. Jesus Christ has said he's not going to lose a single one. He means spiritually. So even after these people die, they're going to be lifted up to a righteous judgment, and then Jesus Christ, with his mercy, will judge them in perspective of the deception that they've been fooled by. Jesus Christ says that it's not the children that have been born into the house of the wicked one, it is the wicked house itself that must go, in so many words. And he describes this, I think, in the book of Ezekiel, and we'll have to kind of look at this another time. All right? So it's so incredibly deep. It's so incredibly deep. Within Jesus Christ's parable is more and more and more. And you just have to bear with me. So now let's look at verse 23 as he describes, in reference to these people that are trying to scatter. He simply says, he that is not with me is against me, and he that gathereth not with me scattereth. Now, I am completely and 100% open that I am trying to gather souls, honest, sincere hearts to the kingdom of Jesus Christ. That is what I'm all about. The Jesus Christ that I'm talking about is the eternal Son of God, the manifested living Word, the express image of God in paradise. Now, why does Jesus Christ express himself as the image of God in paradise? It's simple, that the Father never leaves paradise except in the manifestations, the divestations. He is divesting portions of himself and manifesting them as the sonship of himself. And then that sonship of himself is now manifested to the lower material realms. Jesus Christ is that manifestation of the Father in paradise. As we know that this thing of eternity has been going on eternally, and that there has been trillions and billions and trillions of Googleplex times Googleplex trillion souls that have already been lifted up to the paradise abodes. Well, as they know, the promise is said that they shall be by the side of the Father. Well, if the Father was leaving from paradise, what would all of these infinite myriads of souls have in the way of the truth of the Scripture that describes that they can be with that Father eternally? Well, that's why the Father eternally is resident in his presence at paradise, because all things, all gravity lines are tied to him from that point. He can never leave. He is the source, the first source and center of all things. Therefore, he can't leave. So Jesus Christ, the eternal sons, and the lower orders of sonship is how the Father, the infinite Father, manifests himself to the lower orders that only have that level of capacity to receive his goodness of grace. And then we're supposed to perfect ourselves towards the image that Jesus Christ has offered us, that way within our manifested perfection from glory to glory. At each stage of existence as we travel, we are more easily able to reflect that perfect image of God in our own being. Okay? So you are trying to go from a rough state. You should understand that. That's what Jesus Christ is describing, that you are a rough material and that he is going to work you and bring the figure out in you, bring the spirit and the beauty out in you, despite your knots, despite your rough spots, despite your cracks, despite your splinters, that Jesus Christ has the power and the knowledge to work you and bring that beautiful figure out, that beautiful grain of your wood, not tear out against the grain, but grow and go into the correct direction of travel. Okay? So there's so much more to say. There's so much more to say. And I can say it, but I try to squeeze everything into a more condensed form so that you can gain more information in less time. Now, he that is not with me is against me, and he that gathereth not with me scattereth. That's what these agents are doing on YouTube. Okay, they are lying and they're not trying to gather these people are lying, and they're not trying to gather people to the truth of Jesus Christ. So that if they're not with Jesus, I'm with Jesus. Okay? 100%. I back up everything that he's ever said, and I will continually be able to do that. As I told you, there is nobody else on YouTube doing it. Look around. Look around and see the videos that I've offered, and see the way that I can show the perfection of Jesus Christ in such a way that none of these people have even come close to touching the fullness of this revelation. Now, I'm not saying that there's not people on YouTube that don't love, honestly, Jesus Christ. They do. Hallelujah. Bless you. And I'm for you, and I'm with you. Okay? And I don't need to be somebody's leader. I just need to walk with more people. I need to walk and experience the joy of true brotherhood with true believers in Jesus Christ, and not a bunch of cackling wolves on the comments page. So that's what we're going to kind of talk about here briefly. Is what Jesus is telling you about these people they're trying to scattereth, okay? And it is based upon the doctrines that now that they have about that they are gods, that's associated with this seven spirit chakra. But as you can see, that Jesus is telling you that as you receive these fallen ones into that tabernacle, and then receive the ones that have already fallen and risen the serpent up his tabernacle, which would be the dance, your estate is worse off now than it ever was. And it's going to go back to the very same thing about what Israel has done to bring in this deception and to bring in the dance, and then they go off to their high place, they rise up. Well, their estate, their refuge is going to be worse off than it ever was. And that's a part of the miracle that you're going to see fulfill. You need to pay close attention to this last word here, and you've already seen it. I showed you from another thing. And the last state of that man is worse than the first. Now that man in particularly would be Ephraim, but the fuller manifestation of this would now be the planetary prince, which is going to be that man child. Always a higher reflection. So pay close attention to that, ponder it, and then you're going to see what the fullness of this miracle is as we come back on the next video. All right. Now, I know if you're just new and you're not watching, then that's a lot of stuff to keep in mind. Well, that's why I've done all these videos. Now let's take a look, and this is an urgent warning, and I'll explain to you guys. Anybody would know what this light is that just showed up? It's from my Venetian blinds, okay, right beside my window. Okay, right beside my desk is a window. These are the little holes where the strings go through in the blinds. It's not anything to do with demons. It's not no special manifestation of a spirit being or any sort of special sign or anything like that. Although personally, anybody can see what they want in anything. But yet it's always going to be based upon the motivation and the intent of your heart. Choose well. So now let's look at a technique of how they scatter, so that you can understand this. You need to really begin to look at the usernames with these people here on my channel on the comments page, because not only are they encoding their Saturn stuff within it and their Agent 33 and all this other kind of stuff, 69 and 666s, you know, all of this kind of stuff. For anybody that wants to know, this Xeon Celestial Champion person is not with me. He does not gather with me. He seeks to scatter with them. Derek Nelson, Jakari, See the Truth, Mig Fox Bat, Fab Fisher, one of the ones, and all of these people that you see run around on the comments page. Gypsy Heart, Dreams Within Dreams, Bill and Eric, Covenant of Love, Bill from Occult Science 101. It just don't stop. And as I told you, many of these people are under different assumed names. Give me a second, I've got a chaotic train coming through. It's a line of construction trains. I go through a lot to produce these videos here. Not that I, looking for any sympathy or anything, but just to, if there's trouble with the audio, or if there's trouble with video quality, or if there's trouble with following how I have to show you through all these books and notes, I don't have a computer. I don't have really flashy technical skills to bring all this together. I bring it together in a humble way, and I do it through my sheer tenacity, my sheer drive, and my sheer want. I put myself to the side, and I do all of this the best that I can for everyone else's benefit when I know what they have in store for me for doing this. But what I'm looking to is what the Father has stored for me in doing this, plain and simple. So let's talk about their tactics of how they seek to scatter and what makes them true cowards in this essence, which shows that they really do have fear of this message. I don't have fear of their messages. Why am I not constantly stalking and accusing and running around behind these people with some huge mob, all upset with anything and everything they say? I don't care. I really would never even talk about these people if they weren't constantly on this channel. I don't care. But they do care what I'm saying, because what I am saying has power. And they know it. And they know that this power can defeat their cause. And what else? What else can you say, really? I mean, come on. Come on. So pay attention to the usernames, and you'll see that these people are trying to type closely a username that by your eye you would be deceived into thinking it's me. And then they post all sorts of outlandish things which try to mar my character on the comments page. Now, as I said, I'm not perfect. From time to time, I kind of give these people a dose of their own medicine. It seems it's the only way that they'll understand, that, I just kind of let off a little steam and give them a dose of their own psychiatry, if you will. And believe it or not, it seems to work. Believe it or not, it almost seems like the finger that you are pointing at someone has 3 fingers pointing back at you. So when they point that one finger at me, it's almost like I can reverse that power and then have the stronger 3 fingers of themselves using these analogies to point right back at them, so that they can see that they're living a lie, that their cause is unjust, that they are crooked in their actions, and the fractal will reveal it. So we've got this person here that is, from time to time, shows up on the comments page in a strategic fashion, trying to get people, when they read the comments, to think it's me, to get turned off from the video. Well, I want you to notice very closely, you need to read the letters, each and every last one of them. And then if it's necessary, you need to write my name down and have it on a piece of paper with you. And if you're interested for whatever reason in reading this comments page full of wolves, in which I suggest you don't even bother. You don't even bother with it. But if you do, and you want to realize who is me and who is not, then you hold up your little piece of paper with my exact username, and then you can see that this person has just switched the T in front of the F. And now this person is a copycat. It's a copycat agent. In other words, it's a scaredy cat. It's a coward. It's another coward that is seeking to scatter. This is how you know that I'm speaking the truth of Jesus Christ. Everything that Jesus Christ is speaking, I speak it. And then I can show the manifestation of who these people are that are trying to stop it. It's that easy. It's that easy. I'm one simple man that's been given an amazing, extraordinary gift, and I basically struggle to bring this with you, to bring this to you, and to work with you in your understanding. I do struggle to do it. I'm not worthy in the fullness of this message. I don't deliver this perfectly. I don't have the perfect character, but as I told you before, nobody does. All Jesus needs is somebody with perfect faith. Faith is the thing that can carry you through. So there you go. You see the people that are scattering, they have their tactics like Gypsy, like Dreams Within Dreams. You know, she always is looking for pity. She plays on everybody's emotions. She tries to make it look like it's her that's been dragged through all the dirt, when it's her that drags herself around behind this channel herself. Dreams Within Dreams. Head. That was one of her first original usernames. It's always about feeding, you know, it's always about gaining these luxuries. It's all about these holidays and these festivals. You know, it's all about their gain and their pleasure. If you just simply look at this person, she is exuding this Venus figurine of this voluptuous, unchastised woman. She is the full manifestation of the very thing that she has immersed herself in. And what can you say? Ye shall know them by their fruits. Okay? We are not here to judge these people, but we can personally know them, and we only know what they show. So if you're judging somebody, you don't yet personally know what these people are showing. So you allow them to expose themselves. Therefore, you can get to personally know them. So if they are exposing themselves in some sort of iniquitous manner, then that's their fault. Then they become a shadow troll, they become a straw man, and there's no fault that I can have by rebuking a straw shadow individual. It's not real. It doesn't have a soul. It's something that these people are manifesting and putting forth to you as a real identity. It's not. That's why I severely rebuke some of these individuals in their shadow manifested forms, because it's not them. It's not them. Once again, it's another illusionary manifestation of the inspiration of the devil. And I rebuke it strongly, plain and simple. So these people are not coming to you in plain speech. The letter killeth, but the spirit giveth life. They're using the letter to justify their death. I'm using the correctly divided word to justify mercy. Who has the more just cause? I'm fighting murderers, and then all of these people are fighting somebody that's trying to stop the murder. Who's right? Who would a child see as right? Where's the common sense at? So we see the true, and then we see the fake. All right? Pay close attention. Now, as I've said, why is this important? Why is this so important for me to allow these people on the comments page? Well, it's to show that there is nothing that they can say about me that I'm in fear of. Nothing. They can say it all they want. 99.9% of it is all lies, and the rest of it is twisted with lies within it. So I don't fear it. I allow it to happen. I allow these people to exhaust the potential that they're manifesting in their own wishes, their own choices. They can exhaust it all they want. Now, why do I allow it in the perspective for you guys to see this? It's simple. You've seen nothing yet. If you cannot make it through with your moral integrity, your spirit intelligence to guide you, the lowest level of that, and see that this mess on the comments page and these people that are legion are wrong. They're wrong in every action that they are manifesting. Well, then if you can't see that now, you're already going to fall. These are just the footmen. Now, when the horsemen come, their deception is going to be 1,000 times greater than what you see right here. I am allowing you to begin to work out your swordship, your shield techniques. I'm allowing you to put on the armor of God and begin to taste this battle a little bit. But some of you are so afraid. Some of you are so timid. You lack so much courage. Why? Because you have no faith. You have no faith. If you want faith in Jesus Christ, you must seek Jesus Christ wholeheartedly, and he will reveal himself to you. As I said, the only way to do that is to search for his perfection, because you search for him any other way, he's not there. He's not there. Another appears. Another appears. A shortcut appears. Okay? It is this devil influence, which is the shortcut. Jesus Christ does everything the sure way. Okay, no matter how long it takes, Jesus Christ has that patience. He has that patience. He's proved it. The only thing that we see here is there's a lot of people that are impatient and they think that they have to murder to get something. Wrong. You're going to get the just recompense. Goes around, comes around. So it is for everybody's benefit. It is for these people to know that I give them the freedom to say what they want. And if they got some great knowledge, I don't see none of these people posting it up. I see these doing the exact opposite. They're mocking, ridiculing, and slandering because they don't have any knowledge. They don't have any knowledge against that can stand with what I'm showing, because everything that I'm showing defeats their doctrines. They have doctrines about ye are gods. That they wouldn't believe that Jesus Christ is saying it. Watch my video series, Ye Are Gods, and you will see these people have no idea what Jesus is talking about. No idea. They have an idea what the devil is talking about, and then they have joined with that. And if you are with the devil, you are never going to defeat a believer in Jesus Christ who has firm faith. You'll never defeat me, ever. There'll never be one video or one anything that you can ever do. And there's a big reason behind that. I'm not your average Christian. Okay, I have been selected. All right, I have been chosen not to be above any of y'all. In all actuality, you can see that I'm pretty much beneath many of y'all. So many people trample me upon their feet every day. There's no way I'm above these people at all. I'm their, I'm what they kick every day. Okay, so I'm not trying to be above people. They're just upset because I know all this and I can do all this. Well, you're not upset with me. You're upset with Jesus Christ. I would be the fool if I wasn't bringing this. I'd be the fool if I had this ability and I had this sight and I had this knowledge and I did not bring forth this. I would be a fool and I couldn't live with myself. So I can live with myself a lot easier by suffering all their slandering, okay, and doing the work for the Father. And as I said, I'm not perfect in it. Okay, I got imperfection. I still got a journey like everyone else does. Okay, the only difference is that I am firm of where I've come from, where I'm at, and where I'm going. I don't have doubts like all of you guys. I'm not searching for those answers like all of you guys within deluded devil doctrines. I've already searched for it within the perfection of Jesus Christ. I've found it, and I'm here to give it. Okay, if you ain't looking for Jesus, why you here? Why you here? Because that's the only thing that is here. That's it. You're going to find nothing else. And if Jesus Christ is the foundation of all eternally lasting things, well, if you're looking for eternally lasting things, here they are. Here they are. So, people, I do this for you. I do this to see some courage. I do this to see some pep. I do this to see some people stepping up to the plate. Okay? I do this because you need practice in battling against these demonically inspired attacks with faulty knowledge and deluded holy logic. And when I say holy, I'm talking Swiss cheese like the moon, right? Moon is supposed to be Swiss cheese and full of holes in this little nursery rhyme thing, right? Come on, man. Come on. Rats like cheese, do they not? There's not a rat, somebody that is going to cheat, lie, and steal over another. I mean, come on. Think about it. So there you go. There's a video that I didn't want to be this long. Like I said with Gypsy, if you just think about the fractal, where there are gypsies, there are wolves. Go watch some old horror films. Go watch some old movies about that. Original Wolfman, I think Lon Chaney played, and then with all the gypsies running around. Where there's gypsies, there's wolves, okay? And, gypsy, if you don't like it, don't act like it, okay? You don't like it, you don't like me, go down the road. Go up on your highway. Go wherever you want, okay? Because I'm not going to follow you, all right? So if you don't like me, don't follow me, plain and simple.